Okay, so today we're going to look at simplifying each of the following fractions. So in the last exercise that you would have done, you would have simplified the fractions by using just the HCF method. But you need to remember from what you did in second year, there's 4 different ways that I can factorise, which you are going to need to remember on how to do so that you can complete these questions. So in case you've forgotten, it is my HCF, so my highest common factor, that's used last few questions. My grouping, so to recognise grouping, it's 4 terms, okay. My difference 2 squares, okay, so it's 2 squared numbers and a minus sign in between, so difference of 2 squares. And then finally my quadratic trinomial, so the highest power is x squared, has an x and a constant, so my quadratics. Right, so what I have here, the first one is 15x minus 25, 3x minus 5, okay? Right, so something is going to cancel, okay, to get rid of my 3x minus 5. So I need to recognise, okay, HCF, that's the first one that you will always try, okay? Right, so what do they have in common? I have 5 in common, so I take out my 5. 15x divided by 5, I'll just be left with 3x. Now I go on to my minus 25. So minus 25 divided by 5 will give me minus 5. So now I actually have the top line is the same as the bottom here, the 3x minus 5. My 3x minus 5 on top and on bottom, they cancel, they divide by one another, and I'm left with my answer is just 5. So that's part A completed. Now I have another one here to do, part B, and it's x squared minus 5x plus 6 all over 3x minus 9. Okay, so I'm asked to simplify that again. So I need to go through my 4 different types of factorising, so my HCF, grouping, difference 2 squares and quadratic. Okay, so I need to be able to spot which one of this is. Okay, I can't do my HCF here on the top line. Okay, grouping has to be 4 terms, it does not have 4 terms. Difference of 2 squares is 2 squared numbers and a minus in between, so it has to be my quadratic. Okay, so what I also know about this, my quadratic, it's going to cancel with something down here, but if you can recognise here, I can actually also factorise down the bottom by using my HCF. So the first thing I'm going to work out on top, I'm going to do my quadratic. So to get x squared minus 5x plus 6, the first thing I need to do is I need to get my guide number. So to find your guide number, you need to multiply your x squared coefficient by your constant here. So it's going to be 1 times 6, which will give me 6. And I draw 2 lines like this. I need to then get the factors of 6 that will give me minus 5x. So I write out all the factors of 6. We already have 1 by 6. Then I have 2 by 3. I could go 3 by 2, which is the same, and then 6 by 1. Okay, right. This sign here tells me that both signs have to be the same, and I need to make a minus 5x. So I can't have a plus 1 and minus 6, because if I had plus 1 minus 6, they'd both have 2 different signs. So I need to use my 2 and my 3. So I have my 2x, my 3x, and both of them are going to be minus because we want a minus 5x. So then what I need to do is I rearrange it again. So I take down my x squared minus my 2x minus my 3x plus 6. So these 2 numbers here are just after replacing my minus 5x. Okay, so this is just a quick recap on what you would have done last year. Now girls, I can see here I have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms, so this is where we're going to use my grouping. Okay, so grouping is we have 4 terms and we need to split them. So we ask myself the question, do these 2 have something in common? Yes, they do. They both have x in common. And do these 2 both have something in common? Yes, they do. They both have 3. So I can factorise, I can go ahead. So now what I need to do is I take out my x, and when I take out my x, I'm left with x minus 2. So I'm dividing across. Now I'm going to take out, I never deal with my sign until I'm sure what sign it is. So I'm just going to take out my highest common factor here, which is 3. And I'm going to be left with x. Right, these two brackets have to be the exact same, so this sign here has to be minus 2. Okay, because 6 divided by 3 will give me 2. But I want these two brackets have to be the exact same. So now I want a minus 3x and a plus 6. So this sign out here has to be minus, because minus 3 times x will give me minus 3x. Minus by minus will give me plus 6. Okay, then I bring these two together. So I'll have x minus 3 bracket x minus 2. Okay, so this is just, remember, we've just done the top line. Okay, right, this is all over. Okay, so we're just bringing it back to the original sum, 3x minus 9. Okay, right, I don't have anything here that can cancel right now, but if you recognise down here, I can actually also do my highest common factor here as well. So my highest common factor, I can take 3 out of this. So I'm going to have x minus 3 bracket x minus 2 all over. When I take my 3 out, I'm left with 3x divided by 3 will give me x, minus 9 divided by 3 will give me minus 3. Okay, x minus 3, these cancel together, and then I'm just left with x minus 2 on top all over my 3, and that's it, fully simplified. Okay, so the next one, part C, I have 3y squared minus 5y minus 2 all over y minus 2, and I want to simplify it. So I need to remember my 4 different types of factorising that I had in the previous page. So my HCF is always the one you try first, okay? I can't use my HCF here, okay? Grouping is the next one. There's not 4 terms here, so it can't be grouping. Can't be the difference of 2 squares because I don't have 2 squared numbers and a minus in between. So it means it has to be my quadratic again. Right, so I'm going to factorise my top line here. So I have 3y squared minus 5y minus 2. So first thing I need to do is I need to get my guide number. And to get my guide number, I multiply my term in front of my y squared coefficient by my constant. So this time it's going to be 3 times 2. I'm just going to ignore the signs just for a moment, okay? And that's equal to 6. And I'm going to draw out my 2 lines like this. Okay, I have to get the factors of 6 that add to give me 5. Alright, so I had the factors of 6 previous as well, so it's 1 times 6, 2 times 3. Okay, right, this time, this minus sign here tells me that they're going to be a plus and minus. Okay, so they're going to be 2 different signs. Okay, so they're unlike signs, so one of them is going to be plus, one of them is going to be minus. Okay, right. I could have 2 plus 3, that would give me 5, it would be plus 2 plus 3, so it can't be that one. It has to be 1 and 6, okay? So I'm going to have 1y, 6y. Right, I want it to be a minus 5y, so I'm going to go, the minus has to go with the minus 6 plus here, okay? So minus 6y plus 1y will give me my minus 5y. I then rearrange my sum. So I have 3y squared plus y minus 6y minus 2. Okay, so now we're back to our 4 terms, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it must be grouping. So I'm going to split them. Okay. Alright, do these two have something in common? Yes, they do. They have y. And do these two have something in common? Yes, they do. They have 2. If they don't have something in common, you need to swap your middle 2 to make them have something in common. Now I take out my highest common factor here, which is y, and when I divide 3y squared by y, I'm left with 3y, and when I divide y by y, I'm left with plus 1. Then I have to take out my highest common factor here. Remember I said we don't deal with the sign until we're definitely sure. So I take out my 2. So 6y divided by 2, I'm left with 3y. And then 2 divided by 2, I'm left with 1. And remember, I want these 2 brackets to be the exact same, so it's going to be plus 1. So I look here, the sign has to be minus. Okay, so minus 2 times 3y will give me my minus 6y. Minus by minus will give me minus again. Then I bring these 2 together, so I will have y minus 2 bracket 3y plus 1. So I factorise, that's just my top line factorise. I need to put this over my bottom line, which is y minus 2. And this one is nice and easy because I need to factor again. Cross these off, cancelling with one another. So I'm now just left with 3y plus 1, and that's it, finished. The final one then that we're going to look at is 9e squared minus 25 all over 3e plus 5. So I need to look through, okay, my different methods of factorising. So I have my highest common factor, my grouping, my difference of two squares, and my quadratics. Okay, right, so I always try my HCF first. They don't have anything in common, so I need to keep going through my list. Grouping, it doesn't have 4 terms here, so grouping is not going to work. I have a minus sign, and these two numbers are square numbers, okay, so I can actually use this. What I have now, I need to factorise the top, okay, so this is going to become 3 to be squared will give me 9, so it's 3e to be squared plus bracket 5 to be squared, okay. I'm going to keep the bottom line here, 3e plus 5. Right. Sorry, that should be a minus. Alright, so then what I have now, so I have 3e to be squared minus 5 to be squared. So I'm going to go 3e plus 5, 3e minus 5, all over my 3e plus 5. Alright, I can now see that 3e plus 5 will cancel top and bottom. So I'm just left here with 3e minus, and that's it.